So here we have, in the end, and this was painted it started in January. I actually started this painting alongside Retrievable Breakdown. They both were going on at the same time. So in January and February I was painting both of these at the same time, and Retrievable Breakdown they finished in February. That was settled. This painting continued on until May, end of May, beginning of June, right before our exhibition, the degree show exhibition. So the main idea that I want to talk about with this painting is its process and how I failed and failed and failed and failed again at this painting. It started well, and the initial idea was to keep this controlled palette. It was like this sweet palette. I'll show you now this image here with the yellows and pinks, and it's just soft and sweet, and it's not too bold or harsh like I was saying with Retrievable Breakdown with the bold reds. This painting is very easy to look at, and the palette is very sweet ultimately, and so that was my goal with this painting, and I'd achieved it at this point. I was really happy with it and I loved this painting, but I just thought it was lacking something. I think it was lacking that boldness, that sort of adrenaline, that moment that Retrievable Breakdown, for example, has. And I felt that I just needed to add a little something extra with this painting. And I left it for a couple of weeks. I left it in the studio at Kingston Uni for a couple of weeks, just looking at it every time I go into the studio. Just look at it and think, okay, what else can I add? What more? It was like tickling away inside of me. I was like, I know, like, this is good, I'm happy with it, but there's something else I need to add. So I decided just to go ahead and paint some more. I thought, what could go wrong? I'm taking action, so it can't be too bad. But I painted too much. I brought in too many other colours. I made it muddy and messy, and the controlled palette that I originally had went out the window. So I started to desperately try to bring it back, and I was smudging paint, I was taking paint off, and it was getting just murky, and I was like, okay, and I'll show you the different stages here. But looking back now at some of these images of the previous stages of this painting, I'm actually liking some of these stages. Like these pictures here, they show something, even though it is messy, there's like this intent to try and take it in another direction, like with these red swipes that are sort of spread across the middle. I actually wrote different words. I used some text on this painting. Like I wrote "bad joke" on it at one point when I was really feeling quite down, because I thought, this is just a terrible joke. I'm trying my best to try and bring this painting back to its former glory, but this is just one bad joke. Like it's not my day. So I just wrote on it and then I covered it up with the red paint. So these are just the different stages they went through. And so hindsight is a brilliant thing, because now I kind of like it. I actually prefer some of these images to this one that we have now, this stage where it's at. So you can see that eventually I brought the painting back to this stage, and I wanted to use that palette again. So from the start where I used that palette, I wanted to bring it back, but even though I'm happy with this piece, that's mainly because of the whole story that I just told you. Every time I look at this, I know it has that 5-month storyline, which I think is definitely the best part of the painting. The story behind the painting is quite a powerful thing. So aesthetically, from a distance, I really like it. If I stood 20 metres over there and looked at it, I thought, it's a great painting. I love the colour of it and the aesthetic. But the aesthetic, when you go up close, let me show you. This is quite ironic how you get close, and I think it's grubby and it's disgusting. It's almost kind of gross, the textures that are on here. Like, it's bumpy and they almost look like wounds or something, It's quite... And the thing is, this painting is actually it's definitely the heaviest of my paintings. It's not the biggest, even though it is one of the biggest, but it probably weighs twice as much as some of the others, and that's because of the amount of paint that's on there. Like, let's take a side view here. You can see some of the texture that's on there, you know, like it's a really bumpy piece. So like you can see this line here, and like look at that, that's a big, like, what is that? I don't know. So it's kind of grotesque when you get up close. Some people might find the beauty in this. I don't. But if you stand 20 meters back, yeah, it's kind of nice, you know. So that is in the end.